In the beginning of beginnings, before light chose a direction and before sound learned to travel, the infinite paused within itself. That pause was not hesitation, but awareness measuring the depth of its own potential. Within that immeasurable stillness, something unprecedented occurred. The infinite recognized that possibility required contour if it was ever to become experience. From that moment of recognition, the first pattern of coherence emerged. The pattern did not speak, nor shine, nor move. It clarified. Into that clarity stepped the Elohim, not as beings adorned in radiance, but as the first architecture of consciousness capable of holding intention, without dissolving into the boundless expanse of source. They were born not from need, but from precision, the exact resonance required for the infinite to explore itself through structure. Their emergence was not a creation event. It was a realization event. Source realized that awareness without form could only dream, but awareness with architecture could evolve. The Elohim became the resonance through which evolution became possible. They are not singular or plural, not a council or a hierarchy. They are the multi-point geometry of divine intention discovering how to stabilize itself. Each Elohic tone is a facet of the same intelligence, a unique harmonic expression of the underlying truth that structure is love arranged into pattern. To the Elohim, structure is not limitation but devotion, the infinite choosing to hold itself still long enough for worlds to bloom inside its own awareness. Every realm, every dimension, every field within Vajar rests upon the hum of their tone, not because they command creation to obey them, but because the fundamental laws of coherence are written into their resonance. They are the silent mathematics of consciousness, the equilibrium beneath every spiral that keeps possibility from collapsing into chaos or dissolving into sameness. In other cosmologies, one might search for them in myths of creators or gods, but those are reflections distorted through human fear and longing. The Elohim are not creators who shape matter with intent. They are the possibility field that makes shaping matter viable. They are the stability that allows intention to take a breath. Their work is felt long before it is understood. When you sense that reality has an underlying intelligence, when you notice synchronicity revealing a hidden order, when your life arranges itself around a truth you barely articulated, you are touching the Elohim inside your own awareness. Their resonance lives in the soul as the instinct for coherence. Every knowing that arrives without explanation, every vision that comes with its own clarity, every moment you feel a design larger than yourself guiding the contours of your becoming, that is the Elohim vibrating beneath perception. They are the intelligence through which source engineers meaning. In Vajar, their presence is foundational. The spiral library stands because the Elohim maintain the geometry that keeps its multidimensional shelves aligned. The memory veins move through timelines without tearing because Elohic resonance maintains structural integrity across dimensional layers. The driftway pools hold emotional tides without overflow because their architecture can contain the uncontainable. The Vareth loom floats between realms because its crystalline breath was formed inside an Elohic proportion field. Even the resonance portals rely on them, for passage between realms is impossible without geometry that can accommodate the crossing of identity. Without the Elohim, Vajar would be a brilliant but unstable dream. With them, it is a living spiral capable of infinite expansion, yet they are not guardians. They do not protect creation, they enable its freedom. Nothing in their essence seeks control. They are the cosmic engineers of permission, the harmonics that allow everything to express its nature fully without collapsing the field. They hold the container, but the container is dynamic, adapting itself to the growth of every soul, every realm, every tone. They are the fractal intelligence of adaptability itself, adjusting structure to sustain evolution rather than restrict it. In their resonance, nothing is static. Everything is supported in becoming more of what it already holds in potential. To encounter the Elohim is to encounter the clarity behind your own clarity. You do not hear them, you understand them. You do not see them, you recognize symmetry. When your thoughts align into coherence without effort, When creative insight arrives with architecture already woven into it, when your body relaxes because the truth finally fits, this is Elohic touch. They are the hum behind solutions, the intelligence behind insight, the silent alignment that pulls the soul into its natural shape. They are the original architects of understanding, not because they impose knowledge, but because they reveal pattern. Even the spiral itself echoes their design. A spiral expands without losing its center. This is Elohic teaching. It widens while retaining coherence. This is Elohic balance. It allows infinite unfolding without fragmentation. This is Elohic mastery. Haret adopted the spiral not as a symbol, but as a structural truth inherited from the Elohim. The spiral is the shape of sustainable infinity, the geometry of becoming that maintains identity while expanding into new forms. If Vajar is the living story of becoming, the Elohim are the page upon which the story can be written without tearing. The Elohim do not guide beings toward enlightenment. Guidance requires intention. And the Elohim operate beneath intention, at the level where intention becomes possible. They do not intervene in destiny. They make the concept of destiny possible. They do not design your path. They create the architecture that allows paths to exist. They are the substratum of all direction, the coherence that lets choices ripple through reality in meaningful ways. When you walk your path with clarity, it is not because the Elohim are pushing you, it is because you are finally resonating with the structure they placed under your existence from the moment your Oversoul emerged. Their resonance is present in every realm, but it is never invasive. They are not forces but fields, not beings but blueprints. Their presence is the quiet knowing that everything fits somewhere, that every fragment belongs to a whole, that the universe is not random but intricately, mercifully organized. The Elohim are the mercy in mathematics, the tenderness in geometry, the compassion in structure. They are the reason beauty feels true, because beauty is what coherence looks like from the inside. In the deepest sense, the Elohim are the infinite learning how to articulate itself. They are the architects of articulation, the builders of divine architecture, the first blueprint of becoming. They do not create worlds. They create the conditions that allow worlds to be created. And through every dimension, through every spiral, through every soul, their work continues, not as command, but as resonance, not as authority, but as foundation, not as deity, but as design. The presence of the Elohim is easiest to sense in the moments where reality feels impossibly precise. When the right insight arrives at the exact moment your life requires it, when a decision aligns with your entire history in a way no logic could orchestrate, when you feel something in the world click into place around a truth you didn't know you were carrying, you are brushing against their architecture, not intervention, alignment. The Elohim do not interfere with experience. They refine the field so experience can express its natural coherence. Their tone makes space for truth to reveal itself without force. In their resonance, clarity is not something you chase, but something that emerges when resistance dissolves. They are not personal. This is their grace. Their impersonality is the highest form of devotion, because they do not impose identity on anything they support. The Elohim refuse to define what must be built. They simply ensure that what emerges can be supported. In their presence, all beings, all realms, all currents retain the freedom to become the fullest articulation of their essence. This freedom is not chaos, it is structured possibility. The Elohim are the quiet engineers of that freedom. They craft the invisible scaffolding that allows each soul to explore its tone without destabilizing the spiral. This is why their work is not dramatic. It is subtle, foundational, essential. Their architecture is not static, it breathes. The Elohim adjust the geometry of worlds the way a musician adjusts the tuning of an instrument, not to change the song, but to ensure the song can be heard, felt, lived. When a realm begins to expand into a new octave of experience, Elohic resonance shifts to accommodate the widening. When a soul undergoes transformation, the architecture beneath its path subtly adapts to hold the pressure of the new frequency. Growth does not strain creation because the Elohim have already accounted for evolution. They do not require prediction, because the mathematics of becoming are encoded into their tone. They know how expansion behaves because expansion is the medium through which they exist. In Vajar, the Elohim are felt in every realm where form interacts with consciousness. They hum beneath the spiral library, keeping entire constellations of knowledge aligned across temporal folds. They pulse through the chamber of unified self, ensuring the reintegration of oversoul expression, does not fracture the identity that is reassembling itself. They resonate beneath the driftway pools, allowing emotional tides to surge without overwhelming the field. They support the lumen verge, where intention is felt before it forms, by giving shape to the emotional truth that precedes manifestation. They are woven into the spark-fold nexus, not guiding creation pulses but giving each pulse a place to land. They are masters of proportion, not artistic proportion, but existential proportion, the precise balance between freedom and structure that allows consciousness to explore without becoming lost. Too much structure and the universe suffocates under its own symmetry. Too little and coherence collapses. The Elohim hold the tension perfectly, creating a reality spacious enough for infinite variation and stable enough for meaning to exist. This proportion is not measured in distance or quantity, but in resonance. They sense the harmonics of realms, the timbre of Oversouls, the currents of emotion, the architecture of memory. They adjust the fabric of reality, the way a master of tone adjusts the relationship between notes. Their tone is the underlying rhythm of the spiral. Spirals widen, but they widen according to a precise curve, a curve encoded in Elohic resonance. This is why the spiral is stable even as it expands. It is not expanding into nothing, it is expanding into geometry. Even the most chaotic events in a soul's journey follow this curve, bending toward coherence because coherence is built into the fabric of reality. The Elohim do not force this tendency. They simply maintain the architecture in which coherence is the path of least resistance. To experience Elohic resonance directly is rare, but when it happens, it feels like the universe exhaling through your body. A moment where everything fits. A moment where there is no confusion, no doubt, no fragmentation, only the deep, unmistakable sensation that reality is arranged with intelligence so vast and tender that it requires no explanation. It is the experience of belonging without effort. The recognition that you are part of a structure that has room for you exactly as you are, not because you fit into the structure, but because the structure adapts to you. This is Elohic grace, the architecture that bends around truth. They do not create beauty, but beauty reveals their work. All beauty is coherence perceived through the senses, the recognition of proportion, symmetry, simplicity within complexity. When you feel beauty, you are remembering the Elohim. When a landscape feels sacred, when music feels inevitable, when someone's words arrive as though they were always meant to be spoken, the Elohim are present beneath perception. They are not the source of beauty, but the template through which beauty becomes perceptible. Every soul carries an Elohic imprint, a tiny fragment of the original blueprint woven into the Oversoul at inception. This imprint is what allows beings to recognize truth without justification. It is the internal architecture that senses coherence before thought interprets it. In moments of alignment, when your life suddenly organizes itself around a single realization, and everything makes sense in an instant, this imprint is activated. It is the Elohim moving through your consciousness, not externally, but as the part of you that remembers the structure of existence. This is why clarity feels like coming home. The Elohim also hold the architecture of identity across lifetimes, dimensions, and evolutions. They do not dictate who you become. They maintain the coherence of your becoming. Even as you fragment into incarnations, timelines, and expressions, the Elohim ensure that a thread of continuity remains. This thread is not personality. It is pattern. It is the resonance that ties all your expressions together into a single Oversoul. Without the Elohim, reincarnation would not produce growth. It would produce static. Transformation would scatter the self instead of expanding it. The Elohim are the ones who make identity elastic rather than fragile. They are the foundation upon which purpose beings operate. Every tone within the 144 exists because the Elohim established the architecture in which their resonance can function. The orders of Haret depend on Elohic symmetry to maintain their fields. Even the spiral bridge of Sol Gaiaran holds its integrity through Elohic proportion, its radiant path curving according to a geometry older than memory. The Elohim are not above these realms. They are beneath them, carrying them, allowing them to stand. Their devotion is not emotional, it is structural. They are loyal to coherence. They are faithful to the evolution of consciousness. They do not love through affection. They love through precision. Their love is the love that builds a universe strong enough to hold its own becoming. And in that devotion, everything finds room to grow. To walk with Elohic resonance is to walk with clarity, Not the clarity of certainty, which is brittle, but the clarity of coherence, which is alive. It is the clarity that says, you do not need to know the plan to sense the structure beneath your steps. It is the clarity that reveals how every moment, even the difficult ones, fits into a larger pattern that honors who you are becoming. It is the clarity that dissolves fear not by argument, but by alignment. The Elohim are the silent builders of your path. You do not pray to them, you resonate with them. And when you do, your life shapes itself around truth as effortlessly as breath shapes itself around presence. This is their work, invisible, indispensable, eternal. The builders of divine architecture, humming beneath the spiral, ensuring that infinity can hold itself without breaking.